In fact, there is something common between the state of Saudi Arabia and the state of Israel which would surprise you. They are sisters. The same forces who work for the establishment of the state of Israel are the same forces who work for the establishment of the state of Saudi Arabia. The same forces who have kept Israel alive today and guaranteed Israel's security are the same forces who have kept Saudi Arabia alive today and has guaranteed Saudi Arabia's security. And when the state of Israel is to be destroyed, Saudi Arabia also goes down into the garbage bin. They're sisters. In 1916, the Jassasa went to work with British spies in Arabia. Lawrence of Arabia, of course, is the most well-known of them.
As the Lawrence of Arabia in the Arabs' fight against the Ottoman Empire and the subsequent formation of Wahhabi Saudi Arabia. However, that is not the whole story as far as Britain is concerned, because the Brits were there when the Wahhabi reading of Islam was first founded, even before Saudi Arabia existed. There are accounts, including the memoirs of Mr. Hempher, the British spy to the Middle East, that shows the British Foreign and Commonwealth Office created Wahhabism, that takes an intolerant view of other interpretations of Islam and other religions. Even if such accounts are not precise, as several commentators have objected, Britain did create Saudi Arabia in collaboration with the Wahhabi Al-Saoud tribe and did use Wahhabis' intolerance and its old policy of divide and conquer to wage an internal war in the Ottoman Empire, which was the most serious obstacle to London's control over the Middle East until the First World War. Abdul Aziz bin Abdul Rahman Al-Saoud, who founded the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in 1932, was a local ruler in the Arabian Peninsula when the Great War began. Following the outbreak of war, the British who were fighting the Ottomans established diplomatic ties with Abdul Aziz, and the two signed the Treaty of Dahrin as early as 1915, which made the lands of the Al-Saoud family a British protectorate. Abdul Aziz was a descendant of Muhammad Al-Saoud, who ruled the Najd area of the peninsula in the 18th century, who was a friend of the founder of Wahhabism, Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab, and who chose Wahhabism for his tribe for the first time. The British followed the treaty with a monthly tribute of £5,000, as well as huge supplies of arms, and helped the would-be king conquer the Central Arabian Peninsula, especially the cities of Hejaz, Mecca and Medina until 1927.
These British spies were sent into Arabia, posing as Muslims. And they went to two actors in Arabia, two. One was Sharif al-Hussein, who was appointed by the Khalifa in Istanbul as the Sharif of the Hejaz, Mecca and Medina, in control. Mecca was under the control of an Arab battalion, but Medina was under the control of a Turkish battalion. And I wish I could understand why the Khalifa insisted on the Turkish battalion under the leadership of Fakhri Pasha to defend Medina. I don't know why. So when the British spies went to Hussein, they offered him the moon. They offered him the moon. We will liberate the land of the hated Ottoman Turks, and we will give you independence and freedom, and you will now become the king of the Arabs. Remember, Britain is not talking about Khilafah. No, we'll make you the king of the Arabs. And we also prepared to offer you a little, you know what, just £7 million. Huh? £7 million at that time is what Bill Gates has now. Sharif Hussein, the great-great-grandfather of Abdullah in Jordan now, then betrayed the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, betrayed 1400 years of history of this ummah, violated the plain and clear command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran in Surah Al-Ma'idah, in which He commanded us, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu la tattakhizul yahuda wal nasara awliya. Do not take the Jews and do not take the Christians as your awliya. Do not establish an alliance with them in which you become dependent upon them and subservient to them. Do not do that, says Allah. بَعْدُهُمْ أَوْلِيَاءُ بَعْضٍ. They are protecting friends of each other. وَمَنْ يَتَوَلَّهُمْ مِنْكُمْ فَإِنَّهُ مِنْهُمْ. Whosoever from amongst you turn to them for that kind of an alliance, you no longer belong to this ummah, you now join them. إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَهْدِي الْقَوْمَ الظَّالِمِينَ. Surely Allah will never provide guidance for a people who commit such an atrocious act of wrongdoing. And this is precisely what Sharif Hussein did, and what all his descendants from that day to this day have been doing. But the chickens are coming home to roost now for Abdullah. And the chickens are coming home to roost for Abdullah. Sharif Hussein now accepts 7 million sterling pounds and enters into a military alliance with Britain and declares himself independent of the Ottoman Khalifa. Once the Khilafah in Istanbul had lost control of Mecca and Medina, had lost control of the Haramain, had lost control of the Hajj, you pull the carpet, you pull the rug from underneath the feet of the Khalifa. His Khilafah is now losing legitimacy. And so the British calculated, if we can wrest control of the Haramain and the Hajj away from the Khalifa in Istanbul, then the legitimacy of his Khilafah will begin to crumble. And so this was 1916. The British spies then went to the second actor in the Arabian Peninsula. I mean, Britain has a PhD in deception. If you want to destroy the Khilafah, okay, you have to make sure that it cannot be restored. How can you take the entire world of Islam with so many ulama and ensure that not only is the Khilafah destroyed, but it cannot be restored? That's a tall order. How to do it? The answer is, you not only have to liberate the Haramain from the control of the Khalifa in Istanbul, but you have to put it in the control of those who will not themselves claim the Khilafah and will not allow anyone else to claim the Khilafah. And so long as these people keep control of the Haramain and the Hajj, the Khilafah can never be restored. Simple, isn't it? Simple, isn't it? And so that was why they had to make the trip to Riyadh to meet. What's his name? Abdul Aziz Ibn Saud. Correct name? Of course it's the correct name. Why are you afraid to mention it? But Abdul Aziz Ibn Saud did not control the Hijaz. So he couldn't command a check for £7 million. He had to be content with something less than that. So what the British offered to him was, if you would sign the same kind of agreement with us and violate the specific command in the Quran and betray Allah and His Messenger and betray the Ummah, if you will do that, we pay you £5,000 a month. Would you accept that? Abdulaziz says yes. Yes.
The British followed the treaty with a monthly tribute of £5,000, as well as huge supplies of arms, and helped the would-be king conquer the Central Arabian Peninsula, especially the cities of Hejaz, Mecca and Medina until 1927.
كان يهادي الإنجليز على حساب القوة الضاربة الموجودة في داخل بلاده اللي هي الأتراك.
هل صحيح كان يتقاضى راتب من البريطانيين؟
نعم كان يتلقى راتب، وكان الراتب هذا هو، أنا من وجهة نظري الآن لما أنظر هذا الراتب هو مثل القروض التي تمنح من الدول الغنية للدول الفقيرة.
يعني لم يكن هذا الراتب بمثابة يعني إسكات للملك أو يعني نوع من شراء الولاء؟
ممكن أنه هدف الإنجليز طبعا معقول يعطوا راتب 5000 جنيه في ذلك الوقت الإنسان في الصحراء مبلغ ضخم، هل ممكن يعطوه هكذا لوجه الله؟ لا، هم يعطوه لغرض.
מה היא עמדתכם באשר לסעודיה? האם היחסים שלכם עם סעודיה השתפרו, והאם יש שיתוף פעולה בין המדינות?
יש לנו הרבה אינטרסים משותפים שאנחנו יכולים לקדם אותם בכלכלה, במדיניות, בתפיסות אזוריות. אני גם מאמין שסעודיה רואה כמונו שיש סכנה גדולה מאוד מהתפשטות הטרור על ידי גורמים קיצוניים. ואני מצפה שהמשטר הסעודי, כמו משטרים אחרים, יפעלו נגד כוחות מסוכנים.
يشرفني أيضا أن تمنحني هذا الوسام أثناء الزيارة.
That's something else. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. This is beautiful. This way, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much. This is lovely. This is a certificate. This is shahada.
This is goes pass on to
I'm going to take it off for safekeeping.
أنا سأخلعها الآن من أجل الحفاظ بها في
I'm
مكان
very
آمن.
grateful.
وأنا بها في
Any agreement with the Palestinian people must preserve Israel's identity as a Jewish state with secure, recognized, defensible borders. And Jerusalem will remain the capital of Israel, and it must remain undivided. Our alliance is based on shared interests and shared values. Those who threaten Israel threaten us. Israel has always faced these threats on the front lines. And I will bring to the White House an unshakable commitment to Israel's security. That starts with ensuring Israel's qualitative military advantage. I will ensure that Israel can defend itself from any threat, from Gaza to Tehran. Defense cooperation between the United States and Israel is a model of success, and it must be deepened. As President, I will implement a memorandum of understanding that provides $30 billion in assistance to Israel over the next decade, investments to Israel's security that will not be tied to any other nation. And as President, I will never compromise when it comes to Israel's security.